I mean, normally I'm an advocate for all this sort of stuff, aren't I? I'm kind of chief enthusiast for technology. But I don't know. I think there are some genuine ethical issues. And for me, on a personal level, I think this came to light during lockdown when I was kind of really surprised at the heavy-handedness of governments in the West, certainly, around personal freedom. And I understand that that's a slightly abstract point. And it was for good reason. But it does worry me, that and the rise of big tech and the way that I think we've kind of lost control of our data. So the notion of having something implanted in your body so that the simple act of turning your phone off or leaving it to one side, phones having very similar roles in terms of keeping small amounts of data, tracking our whereabouts, which is what these little NFC chips do. So the technology is called near field communication. It's the same stuff that you have in Oyster cards. It's inert. It's not potentially dangerous, although there is another big question there. Despite being given the go ahead, it does concern me. A lot of technologies further down the line sometimes have toxicity that we didn't perhaps expect at first. So I'm not the advocate you might expect for this particular technology, although I do think there is a kind of inevitability about this. I think as we move forward to a kind of transhumanist future, as we augment our bodies more with technology, which at the moment works very well, doesn't it? I mean, I'm wearing contact lenses. I've got dental implants. It's all the same sort of stuff. And it does feel like we're moving this way. I just think maybe we need to get the kind of personal data thing. We need some big discussions with big tech and government first. Maybe claw back a little bit of ownership before we move to the next phase.
Possible.
Look, Doctor, what do you make of all of this? I have to say, I love this idea. I'm all for it, but then I'm someone who's used to having implants. I've got a glucose monitor in this arm. I've got an insulin pump on this arm, transmitting data to my doctors and specialists all constantly. So I'm used to this sort of information, technology being there and the information being shared. So why would this be a problem, or would it?
I think it's very different integrally because this is for financial reasons, for you to pay for things, and that's inherently connected to your financial level. And for you, that might be okay, but for a lot of people, that's connected to their credit. And on top of that, it's also going to be connected to their social status as well. So I think if this is allowed to be got out of control, that's going to lead to some circumstances that are going to be disadvantageous for some people.
But why would it get out of control? Because presumably, if you've got something in your hand, you're still going to have to put a pin in or a fingerprint or something. So it's going to be secure in that sense.
No, you wouldn't. No. So near field communication, it's so you don't have to type in anything.
Well, no, but that's like contactless now, where you can use it up to a certain limit. But then if I want to pay something with my phone over £100, I've got to put a number in.
That's a good point, and that's a safety precaution. And I think more safety precautions are going to need to be needed. For example, if someone's close to you and they've got a reader or some type of technology that can use NFC, you have to use a glove. You're going to have to use a glove, and that's something that's not been talked about. There's phone cases, I've got one, that cover up your phone card, your phone and your bank card to make sure that there's no interaction between someone trying to get your details. So I think there's more implications that have not been thought about from the practical perspective. Another aspect also is fraudsters. There's lots of very clever people that are trying very hard every single day making business plans to try to interact and take advantage of this technology. And, these people have been going around big tech for decades and being very successful. And a lot of people have become rich off that, and they're going to be trying very hard. So I think the consumer needs to do their research, be well equipped with the knowledge, and take precautions. But using transhumanism for health is a very different topic altogether, and that's something which I'm 100% I'm supporting that completely. Continuous glucose monitoring, wearables, and I think that is a big step into allowing people to achieve their optimized health, quality of life, and well-being, which of course is a massive problem right now. We have, worsening depression, obesity, and chronic disease. And I think wearables and transhumanism is going to be a big part of the solution.
Yeah, well, look, I want